if you didn't quit, if you were actually trying. So why does it feel like you're starting over again? Nothing dramatic happened, but somehow everything slipped. And now it feels like all the progress you made just disappeared again. And every time it happens, the reset feels heavier. Because after a while, you stop asking, what went wrong? And start wondering, why does this keep happening to me? What this actually looks like. Most people think starting over looks obvious. Like you gave up. Like you stopped caring. Like something clearly went wrong. But that's not what this looks like. This looks like you were doing better. You were paying attention. You were actually paying attention this time. And then, slowly, things start slipping. You don't notice it at first. It's small. You skip one small thing, tell yourself you'll fix it tomorrow, and keep going like nothing's wrong. And then a few days later, and just like that, you're back in the same pattern again. Bending without thinking. Avoiding looking at your numbers. Feeling that same pressure again. And that's the part that doesn't make sense. You were still trying. So why does it keep ending the same way? The wrong assumption. Here's the mistake almost everyone makes right here. They assume it's a discipline problem, or a consistency problem, or they tell themselves they just need to try harder next time. But if trying harder was the answer, this wouldn't keep happening. 'Cause if this was about effort, you've already proven you can try. You've already had moments where you were focused. So the issue isn't effort. It's what's holding everything together. And right now, it's not what you think. Why the reset keeps happening? 'Cause what this usually leads to is that cycle repeating over and over. You start strong, build a little momentum, then something small slips. Not a big event, just enough. And everything slowly falls apart again. And suddenly, you're starting over again. And every reset feels heavier. Not because you're failing more, but because you're starting to lose trust in yourself. You start thinking, maybe I just can't stick to this. Maybe this is just how it is for me. And that's the part that actually does damage. 'Cause now it's not just about money anymore. It's about how you see yourself. And once that starts slipping, it gets even harder to hold anything steady. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how things only seem to hold together when you feel on? And the second that feeling fades, everything follows it? The real problem. Because here's what's actually happening. You're not starting over because you quit. You're starting over because what you're relying on doesn't actually hold. It only works when everything feels right. And the moment that feeling drops, so does everything else. That's the piece most people never catch. And once you do, you stop blaming yourself and start seeing what's really been running the pattern this whole time. And in the next video, I'm going to break down exactly what that on feeling actually is, and why it quietly controls whether everything stays together, or slowly starts falling apart again. 'Cause once you understand that part, you stop relying on motivation to hold your life together. It's not live yet, but if this made you realize why it keeps feeling like you're back at the start again, go back and start from the first video in this playlist. That's where all of this starts connecting together. And if you want to catch the next one when it drops, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it.